Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another Sport This Week video. And in today's video, I've got basketball, baseball, ice hockey, darts, tennis, football, rugby, cricket, NFL, UFC, boxing, and yeah, I believe that's all the sports news. If you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you're doing like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, going into this, I'm going to start off with the basketball news. So Celtics lost 131 to 129 versus Knicks. Celtics lost 118 to 114 versus Cavaliers. Heat won 130 to 128 versus Hawks. Warriors lost 137 to 128 versus Thunder. Lakers won 112 to 103 versus Grizzlies. Heat lost 104 to 100 versus Cavaliers. Celtics won 115 to 93 versus Blazers. Warriors lost 131 to 110 versus Grizzlies. Heat won 119 to 115 versus Cavaliers. Lakers won 122 to 112 versus Raptors. Heat won 126 to 114 versus Magic. Celtics won 134 to 125 versus Hawks. And Warriors won 125 to 116 versus Bucks. And that is all of the basketball news. Moving on now to the baseball news. Red Sox won 7-1 versus Tigers. Astros lost 7-1 versus Cardinals. Dodgers won 8-3 versus Padres. Yankees won 9-2 versus Pirates. Red Sox won 10-2 versus Braves. Astros drew 5-5 versus Mets. Yankees lost 4-0 versus Cardinals. Red Sox won 9-3 versus Puerto Rico. Astros lost 9-8 versus Venezuela. Dodgers drew 2-2 versus Mariners. Red Sox won 11-7 versus Yankees. Dodgers lost 1-0 versus Athletics. Red Sox lost 2-0 versus Blue Jays. Yankees won 4-3 versus Tigers. Astros lost 7-2 versus Mets. Dodgers won 6-5 versus Athletics. Astros won 3-2 versus Cardinals. Yankees lost 6-3 versus Phillies. Red Sox lost 4-3 versus Twins. Yankees lost 3-0 versus Pirates. Dodgers won 13-8 versus Giants. Dodgers lost 5-2 versus Cubs. Red Sox lost 6-4 versus Orioles. Astros won 5-1 versus Marlins. Red Sox drew 3-3 versus Yankees, and Dodgers won 8-1 versus Reds. And that is all the basketball news. Moving on now to the ice hockey news. Maple Leafs won 4-3 versus Devils. Canadians lost 4-3 versus Hurricanes. Red Wings won 4-3 versus Blackhawks. Canadians won 4-3 versus Rangers. Bruins lost 3-2 versus Oilers. Bruins won 3-2 versus Red Wings. Maple Leafs won 7-4 versus Oilers. Canadians lost 3-1 versus Devils. And Red Wings won 5-3 versus Bruins. And that is all the ice hockey news. Moving on now to the darts news. Wright won 6-5 versus Price. Van Gogh won 6-2 versus Clayton. Smith won 6-3 versus Van den Berg. Van Gogh won 6-1 versus Wright. Smith won 6-2 versus Aspinall. Van Gogh won 6-4 versus Smith. It was the Players' Championship. Price drew 3-3 versus Anderson. And Humphries lost 7-6 versus Van Duergen Body. And that is all the darts news. We're now to the tennis news, whereas the Indian Wells Open. Zverev and Melo lost 2-0 versus Kulhoff and Skupski. Raducanu won 2-0 versus Kovinic. Tsitsipas lost 2-1 versus Thompson. Zverev won 2-0 versus Chachin. Sakari won 2-1 versus Rogers. Medvedev won 2-0 versus Nakashima. Raducanu won 2-0 versus Lynette. Swiatek won 2-0 versus Liu. Jabeur won 2-1 versus French. Badoza won 2-0 versus Parizas Diaz. Alcaraz won 2-0 versus Kokkinakis. Sakari won 2-1 versus Kalina. Zverev won 2-1 versus Russovori. And Badoza and Rybakina lost 2-0 versus Hunter and Mertens. And that is all the tennis news. Moving on now to the rugby news. Wales won 29-17 versus Italy. France won 53-10 versus England. And Ireland won 22-7 versus Scotland, and that is all the rugby news. We're now to the NFL news. Seahawks re-signing Smith. Raiders franchise tag Jacobs. Chiefs expected to release Clark. Cowboys franchise tag Pollard. Saints signing Carr. Vikings releasing Kendricks. Giants extending Jones. Ravens franchise tag Jackson. Giants franchise tag Barkley. Vikings releasing Thielen. Panthers acquire number 1 overall pick. Bears acquiring Moore. McCourty announces retirement. Eagles re-signing Graham. Dolphins acquiring Ramsey. And Commanders extending Payne. And that is all the NFL news. Moving on now to the cricket news. Bangladesh won by 50 runs versus England. Bangladesh won by 6 wickets versus England. South Africa won by 284 runs versus West Indies. and Bangladesh won by 4 wickets versus England. And that is all the cricket news. Moving on now to the football news. Brentford won 3-2 versus Fulham. Bilic sacked by Watford. Benfica won 5-1 versus Bruges. Chelsea won 2-0 versus Dortmund. AZ won 2-1 versus Lazio. Wilder appointed Watford manager. Parker sacked by Bruges. Bayern won 2-0 versus PSG. Spurs drew 0-0 versus Milan. West Ham won 2-0 versus Larnaca. Nice won 1-0 versus Sheriff. Anderlecht drew 1-1 versus Villarreal. Fiorentina won 1-0 versus Sivasspor. Lech won 2-0 versus Djurgården. Basel drew 2-2 versus Slovan Bratislava. Ghent drew 1-1 versus Istanbul. Union Berlin drew 3-3 versus Union SG. Leverkusen won 2-0 versus Ferencvaros. Sporting drew 2-2 versus Arsenal. Roma won 2-0 versus Sociedad. Sevilla won 2-1 versus Fenerbahce. Juventus won 1-0 versus Freiburg. Man U won 4-1 versus Betis. Shakhtar drew 1-1 versus Feyenoord. Rashford won player of the month. Ten Hag won manager of the month. Spezia won 2-1 versus Inter. Willian won goal of the month. De Gea won save of the month. Everton won 1-0 versus Brentford. Leeds drew 2-2 versus Brighton. Chelsea won 3-1 versus Leicester. Spurs won 3-1 versus Forest. Bournemouth won 1-0 versus Liverpool. Bayern won 5-3 versus Augsburg. Leipzig won 3-0 versus Mönchengladbach. Napoli won 2-0 versus Atalanta. Schalke drew 2-2 versus Dortmund. Arsenal won 3-0 versus Fulham. Man U drew 0-0 versus Southampton. West Ham drew 1-1 versus Villa. Man City won 1-0 versus Palace. Sassuolo won 4-3 versus Roma. Newcastle won 2-1 versus Wolves. Arsenal won 4-0 versus Reading. And Barcelona won 1-0 versus Bilbao. And that is all the football news. Moving on now to the boxing news, where there is quite a bit of news this week. So Inoue will fight Fulton Jr. on the 7th of May. Kenny has joined Kingpin. Fundora will fight Mendoza on the 8th of April. Nunes has joined Kingpin. Gibb has joined Kingpin. Clark won via KO in round 4 versus Iwoan. Jarvis won via KO in round 4 versus Panimogan. Nate has joined Kingpin. Scarf will fight Dujon on the 31st of March. That date is now changed, but still 2 fighters that we've had on the channel. 2 fighters that will be a very interesting fight between. Gonzalez will fight Vivas on the 1st of April. Martin won via points versus Day to become Southern Area Super Welterweight Champion. Big congratulations to Martin. Unfortunate for Day. We've had them both on the channel, but credit to Martin to be able to beat Day is a big achievement for him especially. Perkis won via unanimous decision versus Mahmood to become English Bantamweight Champion. Stevenson won via points versus Owen to become Midland Area Light Heavyweight Champion. Rankin won via points versus Holler. Wyatt won via split decision versus Bavington to become WBA Intercontinental Welterweight Champion. Summers won via unanimous decision versus McIntyre to become English Light Heavyweight Champion. Taylor will fight Cameron on the 20th of May. Tormos won via majority decision versus Kevilishvili. Yoka won via unanimous decision versus Malinovic. Price won via unanimous decision versus Manas. Sard drew versus McGowan. Takam won via split decision versus Yoka. Aziz won via TKO in round 12 versus Fourier to become European Light Heavyweight Champion. Danilko has joined Kingpin. Dargun has won via unanimous decision versus Martin. Zhu won via TKO in round 4 versus Belbin. Tayev won via TKO in round 2 versus Guak. Mazoudier drew versus Mahoney. Murdoch won via majority decision versus Hardman to become IBF Australian Super Middleweight Champion. Oyokuzo won via unanimous decision versus Gonzalez to become IBO Intercontinental Light Heavyweight Champion. Goodman won via unanimous decision versus Doheny to remain IBF Intercontinental and WBO Oriental Super Bantamweight Champion, so credit to Goodman. Very happy to see him winning. Zhu won via TKO in round 9 versus Harrison to become WBO Interim World Super Welterweight Champion, which I did predict right. I believe I said decision though, but still I said that Zhu would win, and creditable performance by Zhu. Brooke has joined Kingpin. Shields won BBOFC Overseas Fighter of the Year. Jonas won BBOFC Fighter of the Year. Ladard won via TKO in round 3 versus Przewilski, or that's not how you pronounce it, sorry about that. Lacey won via points versus McCarthy. Hatton won via points versus Goncher. Fiaz won via TKO in round 8 versus Dodge. Congratulations to Fiaz getting his first stoppage, somebody who was a first ever interview. Good to see him shining it still. Fisher won via TKO in round 4 versus Damiani. McGrail won via unanimous decision versus Botelli. Dixon won via TKO in round 6 versus Wilkinson to become a Commonwealth lightweight champion. Pacheco won via TKO in round 4 versus Cullen to become WBO International Super Middleweight Champion. Foley won via TKO in round 3 versus Davis Jr. Marini won via majority decision versus Castaño. Hernandez won via stoppage versus Soto. Reyes won via TKO in round 4 versus Gonzalez to become South American and IBF Latino flyweight champion. Alinias won via KO in round 3 versus Acevedo to remain WBO Latino super featherweight champion. Madonna won via KO in round 3 versus Bennett to become WBC Latino welterweight champion. Melian won via TKO in round 9 versus Segura to become IBF and WBO Latino featherweight champion. Bermudez won via unanimous decision versus Enriquez to become IBF and WBO World Light Flyweight Champion, which I did, from what I remember, predict right. I might be wrong, but I think I did. Brook versus Danilka. Barbie versus Whitney. Brook versus Odon. Daniela versus Poker. Anison Gibb versus McBroom 2. Nate versus Kenny. Jarvis versus Zanetti. And Nunes will fight on the 22nd of April. And McBroom has joined Kingpin. And that is all the boxing news. We're on now to the final sport, which is the UFC news. And so Oliveira will fight Dariush on the 6th of May. Krylov will fight Spann on the 11th of March. Sterling will fight Cejudo on the 7th of May. Martinez won via decision versus Nurmagomedov. Krylov won via submission in round 1 versus Spann. Volkov won via KO in round 1 versus Romanov. And Dvalishvili won via decision versus Yarn, which I did predict bang on from what I can remember. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like if you did, like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.